Mike, obviously the final game of the season, you guys come out on the short end of it. Speaking about the game, first of all, can you kind of tell us how you thought it unfolded and how your team played?
Probably how it's expected to be played when you're not in the playoffs and it's the last game of the season. I think a lot of guys were mentally checked out and have been for quite some time now. And when you play against a good team and you're like that, you're probably going to lose. So that's what happened tonight.
It's an emotional night, Mike, on many levels in here. Do you think that had something to do with what you just said? You know, there are some guys here that may or may not be here again next year. Do you think maybe that had something to do with it?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's just it's difficult to play when there's nothing to play for, and but you know, our group in here, I think, real young squad. I think every game you put the jersey on, there's expectations that you have to meet, and I feel like for a majority of the season we haven't done that, and it's not acceptable. So I think moving forward, a lot of things have to improve around this organization in order for a team to get better and improve. And tonight was a difficult one mentally, just to get through, like you said, with the uncertainty of what's going to happen next year and who's going to be here and who's not. So.
Specifically, I know I've asked you about this before, but not knowing if Shane's going to be here or Z probably going to be gone. Two veterans that you've been with for a long time. Just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, both those guys have been just the definition of what a pro is. And I mean, I'll talk about Z just for a couple minutes. Z has been a pleasure to play with. He's a warrior on and off the ice. He puts in time to get better every single day. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and you can tell. I mean, he'll dive in front of pucks for the team to save a goal, and I think a lot of young defensemen coming up can learn a lot from a guy like that. The time he's put in, the effort he gives every single day is on the ice to get better, and that's what the definition of being a professional is. So I think Z he's been obviously a pleasure to play with. He's probably saved a lot of goals that we're probably going in net that. When I was at a position, so obviously thank him for that. But and Donor, everyone knows what Donor's like. He's been, he's been a dad to me since I got here. I think I've gone through some ups and downs as a Coyote, and he's always there to lean on, to bounce ideas off of. He's always a positive influence on and off the ice, and obviously without his presence in the locker room and on the ice, it'll be difficult. It'll be a challenge for the leadership group to try and fill his shoes. It's impossible to do that, but it's if he does not come back, it's obviously there's going to be a huge void there.
How did you sense approaching this game? Was he any different on the ice when you'd skate over on the bench? Like how did you sense Donor? Shane, how did you approach it? Could you sense it's different?
I don't know. I don't think he knows if he's done or not. So I think that makes it difficult. I think it. Obviously the emotion's there, and it's always been there with Donor. That's one thing that me and him have talked about, and why we probably like each other so much is we both are emotional players and people, and we've gotten some scraps because of it. But we hug at the end of the day and tell each other we love each other. But I think that was a difficult thing tonight. He doesn't know if he's done, and doesn't know if that was his last game or not. So it's hard to really. I can't imagine what the feeling would be if you're not sure or not. So obviously, if it is the end, then it's a pretty impressive career he's had. To play with one organization for that long is tough to do, especially nowadays, and it just shows what kind of person he is.
Was there any hint of it here in the locker room, or were you guys just silent about it too because you don't know either?
Yeah, we know as much as you guys do. I know I've talked about it to him a few times, but some days he feels like he's not coming back, and some days he's like, I can still get it done. So, I mean, that's just, he has some time obviously now to really think about it with his family. His family's the most important thing in his life, and I'm sure they'll have talks about it. But like I said, there's not a big rush now to get that decision made.
Mike, what were you thinking and feeling when you saw Craig Cunningham walk out to center ice?
It was probably the most emotional pregame ceremony that I've been a part of. I think just everything that he's gone through, and for him to walk out there, I had chills, and I was trying to hold back the emotions that it brought. I think the whole building felt it, and it was pretty incredible to see him walk on the ice after, the year that he's gone through. And it just is it's amazing to see a player like that and a person like that gather up enough steam to overcome what he's overcame, and just unreal inspiration to everyone.